At that point, when you were in the basement, was there anything that caused your concern level to change from when you previously testified that you were outside?
It bothered me that the dog was in the basement, as she's not normally there. But I guess I was glad that she was in the basement at that point with Juliana and Valerie. Valerie loves Lily a lot and spends quite a lot of time with her. But it was also weird that, going back to Lily, it was also weird that Lily's food bowl was in the basement. And it was spilled all over the floor. I think that also shows that Lily was in a bit of a frantic state.
And so where would Lily normally eat her food?
Her dog bowl is always in the living room. Her dog bowl is always in the dining room, where there's placemats for the dog on the floor, and that's where her water and food bowl are.
So the basement level is the lower level, correct?
Yes.
Where would that level that you're saying where Lily normally eats be?
That would be on the main level of the house, where the living room, kitchen, dining room is.
Okay, and as you walk up the stairs from the basement, can you give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury some indication as to what direction you would go to find that?
So if you go up the basement stairs, there's a door that would need to be opened. Facing away from the basement stairs to the left would be the stairs to go up. Kind of directly in front of you would be a half bathroom. Slightly to the right would be a very, very short hallway, only a couple feet. To the right would lead to the living room. To the left, so walking down that very, very short hallway, to the right would be the living room. To the left would be the kitchen, and through the through the doorway of the kitchen would be, the dining room where Lily's food bowl would be.
At some point, did you leave the basement?
Yes, after I spoke to Juliana and Valerie, I stepped over the dog gate and climbed the stairs.
Okay, so the dog gate was still in place?
Yes.
Did Lily attempt to follow?
No.
Okay, so
she can't jump over the gate.
So explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to go up to the next level, was it one flight of stairs, 2 flights of stairs?
I would call it one flight of stairs, but it's, 7, 8, 9 stairs, and then a small landing, and then 7 or 8 stairs again to the door.
Okay, and the door would be the door to the basement?
Yes.
Okay, so did you go up that basement stairs?
Yes, I did.
And what, if anything, were you intending on doing when you went up there?
Finding out what was going on in my house.
Okay. When you got to that level, who was there?
When I went up the stairs, I closed the basement door behind me. I did not immediately see anybody on the main floor of my house. And I walked down that very short hallway past the half bathroom, so that I could see into the living room and the kitchen area, of which I did not see anybody.
Okay, and was that a full search or just in the moment?
I guess I walked past the kitchen table, and I walked past the countertop, and also looked in the dining room. So I would say that I looked on the main floor of the house.
So you didn't see anyone on the main floor of the house?
No.
Did you hear anyone?
While I was looking on the main floor of the house, I heard sounds from upstairs.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do at that point?
I moved closer to the upstairs. I moved closer to the upstairs stairs, to the stairs heading upstairs, but still on the main floor of the house.
Okay. And was that a better position to hear or know what's going on?
That's where the sound seemed to be coming from. There's regular ceiling over the kitchen and living room area, but in the foyer area that leads to upstairs, which is where I heard the sounds coming from.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you hear?
I heard the sounds of, I would say, moaning, as well as sound of skin-on-skin contact.
And what did you think was going on at that point?
Sex.
Okay. Why didn't you call 911 at that point?
Well, I believe that it was an affair that was going on at that point. That doesn't seem like an emergency for the police to be involved in, was my thought at that moment.
Okay. Now, what were you thinking at that point when you decided what that was?
I guess I was emotional at that point. While Christine and I had affairs, we had never seen each other with anyone. No one was ever caught in the act or anything like that. Hearing what I thought was sex was upsetting.
So what were you thinking to do? What was your thought process at that point?
I thought about just getting the lunches and giving them to Valerie and Juliana and having them leave. I thought about just ignoring the situation and going to work and dealing with this after work, hopefully when no one else is there. I thought about how Christine had just taken off the day before because she was originally supposed to be working on the 24th. And I thought about, well, this seems to be why. I thought about, well, maybe this is why she took off on the 24th.
Okay.
Because I didn't know that she took off on the 24th until the night of the 23rd.
So what made you stop from your initial thought of leaving and getting the lunches and letting Juliana and Valerie go to the zoo?
I guess as my mind was kind of racing in this moment, the sound, I guess, sounded like it changed to me. Instead of what I thought was the sounds of sex, I thought that the impact sounds sounded forceful, and that Christine's moaning sounded painful and not pleasurable, and that the distance between the sound of the skin-on-skin contact sounded too far apart for sex, and I thought that maybe she was being hurt.
So what did you do?
I started to go up the stairs.
Okay. Did you draw your weapon at any point?
While I was walking up the stairs, I did unholster my weapon, and I angled my body going up the stairs so that I was facing the bedroom door, which once you go up several of the stairs, I can see, because I'm taller, but I could see the bedroom door was partially open, maybe 8 to 12 inches, something like that, but I couldn't really see in the door.
But you could, were you able to determine whether that was the area where these sounds were coming from?
That is, I could tell that was the direction of the sound was coming from the master bedroom area. That's the only door towards the left once you go upstairs.
Okay. When you, from the main landing by the front door, to get to the top level, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the level that you're talking about where the sounds were coming from.
So once again, you would go up several stairs, and then there would be a small landing, and then you would go up one step to another small landing, in which then you would kind of U-turn or switch back and go up another 8 or 9 stairs to the top floor. I don't know exactly how many stairs, maybe 16 or 18 total, but like 8 at the bottom, and then the landing, then 8 at the top, and then you're at the upstairs hallway.
Okay. Given what you'd heard, did you go right into the room?
Actually, I heard the door open on the main floor when I was by the landing. When I heard the door open on the main floor, I saw Juliana come up partially at the basement door.
Okay, and so you were both on the same level at that point?
No, I was on the stairs, heading up the stairs, and I kind of only did a quick glance, seeing that Juliana was there, and then I continued up the stairs.
And did you give her any instructions as to whether to go back to the basement?
I didn't say anything to her.
Okay, so you continued on?
Yes.
But you realized she was there?
I did.
What, if anything, did you do next?
I continued up the stairs and made a left towards the master bedroom.
Okay, and in terms of the landing where the master bedroom is located, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what way you had to go from the top of the stairs.
I went to the left, as that's the way towards the master bedroom. There's double doors to the master bedroom. To the right would be a bathroom, the guest room, Valerie's bedroom, and Juliana's bedroom.
So you went left at this point?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you do at that point outside the room?
Outside the room, I headed towards the door, and I pushed the right of the double doors open with my foot.
And did you otherwise have something in your hands?
Yes, I had my firearm in my hands.
Okay. And when you pushed with your foot, which foot was it?
My right foot.
Okay. And were you able to see or hear any more when you did that?
Pushing the door open with my right foot revealed Christine, and who I now know is Joseph Ryan. They were on the floor near the bottom left of my bed, kind of in front of the master bathroom door, just past the bed, in between the bed and the tall dresser.
Okay. So you just described it as the bottom left. Describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how do you come to bottom left? What position are you in order to describe it that way? If you're in the bed.
Yes, if you were in the bed or facing the TV that's in there, the left would be bottom left corner. That would be the part that's closest to the master bathroom.
Okay, thank you.